Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Nick Davenport, aka Mr. Mental Muscle, and today we're back again with Mental Muscle Mondays. Today, I want to talk about stress. Now, I know that's a running theme on this channel. We talk about it in many different ways, but I want to talk about a little analogy that I like to use with my clients, whether it be in the sport performance world, tactical, or just everyday life. And it's the tourist versus the resident. Now, I use this analogy to describe how people acclimate to stress because I always talk about stress. It comes in many different forms. It's not necessarily about the presentation of stress, but more how you react and respond to it. So going back to the analogy, let's paint a picture. Now, imagine you're going to, say, Paris, and you're from America, and you've never been to Paris before. Now you fly over, you get off the plane, you're super excited. You want to see all the sights, try the food. You want to do everything. Your mind's just jumping, bouncing around. Let's go, let's go. So you see the Eiffel Tower, you take a picture in front of it, you're enjoying yourself, having fun. You go to the Louvre, you see the Mona Lisa. So you're doing all these different things. You're excited. Everything is shocking. It's new. It's different. You're caught by surprise because you've never been there. The expectation is overwhelming. Now, liken this to the stress response. Stress is going to come no matter what. Now, a person who can acclimate better to stress, they're not the tourist. They're the resident. Because just like the tourists, they're going to be presented with this stimuli, given the Eiffel Tower, the Mona Lisa, things like that. But since they live there and they're always seeing it, while it still could be great to see or great to do, it's not as overwhelming. It's not as fun, if you will. Like me personally, I live in South Florida. It's always sunny usually. It rains a little bit, but I live right down the street from the beach. Pretty much my whole life, I was always about 2 to 3 miles away from the beach. Now, I don't really go to the beach like that. Have I been? Sure. Do I have fun when I go? Great. But it's not something that really gets me going. People say, if you live in South Florida by the beach, you must always be there. Ask any person who lives near the beach, especially in South Florida, they're probably not there a lot because you've gotten acclimated to it. And this goes back to the stress response. When I work with my pro athletes or even the tactical population, they have to perform in high pressure situations. So they can't just be acting overwhelmed or excited when they see something they're not expecting. Now, can you prepare for everything? No. But you can at least expose yourself to different stimuli. And that's why I do a lot of my applied psychology work to put them in a position where it's similar to what they're going to do in the real world, in the real time situation, but it gives them enough cognitive and mental load to get used to what they will feel like. Keyword feel. Perception is everything. If you see something that you perceive as scary, dangerous, you're probably going to succumb to it. But if you can reframe that and flex how you see it, doesn't mean it's still not a threat or it's not a challenge. It's depending on how you want to see it, but you're able to overcome it because you've been there before. So you might not necessarily want to be the resident because who wants to live there in that stressful situation, but you want to act as such because the more and more you're acclimated to the stimuli, you're going to be able to adapt because when you get into like the physiology of it all, your brain's sending the signal to say, hey, we're in a high pressure situation. Your amygdala is saying, hey, act. But luckily with our prefrontal cortex, we can slow it down and say, wait a minute, I've been here before. What do I do? What did I do last time? Or retrieving from long-term memory, what have others done in different situations? So you see how this tourist resident makes sense because a resident knows all the back roads, all the streets, all the sites, all the tricks, all the trades, while a tourist doesn't. And that's why typically in real life, when you go traveling, it could be dangerous from a physical standpoint or even a financial standpoint, tourist traps, because they know they can prey on them because they don't know better. Same thing with your stress response. So take that in consideration next time you find yourself stressing out, worried, or think you might fail and not achieve what you're trying to do. Become the resident, my friends. Thanks as always. Enjoy the rest of your week and get your mind right.